Hey everyone, it's Argonath here from Return of the Fan, and just got home from being out, and I wasn't going to do a video tonight, but I just came to learn about this shocking incident that happened at the Oscars 2022. I'm sure that if any normal person that's watching my video probably didn't even bother watching the Oscars, but your ears pricked up, or you might have seen something about the Will Smith incident, shall we say, at the Oscars, and what happened. So I'm assuming you already know what happened. He went up and slapped Chris Rock after Chris Rock made probably a tasteless joke, but it was funny. It was definitely funny about his wife. Jada Pinkett Smith. Will Smith and her have some sort of weird relationship anyway, some sort of open marriage type thing. I don't know. To me, it sounds like he's just been cucked by her, and maybe, yeah, things just got too much about their relationship and stuff, and he just blew his top basically. So yeah, he slapped Chris Rock on the face. Obviously, that these people in Hollywood are just crazies, in my opinion. They don't live in the real world, and they just think they can do anything they want. So I got this article from New Zealand Herald. Um, this is from Wenlei Ma from news.com.au. So Oscar 22's Will Smith's shameful half-assed apology wasn't nearly enough. So let's have a look. So after everyone picked up their jaws off the floor and worked out that Will Smith slapping Chris Rock live on stage at the Oscars wasn't a scripted bit, the next question was simple. Okay, maybe it wasn't simple because the next question was what just happened? But few questions after that it turned into is he going to apologise? Surely he or the ceremony producers were going to have to address this live on air before the night was over. It can't be some impersonal statement released through Twitter hours later while Smith got jiggy with it at the Vanity Fair after party. And Smith was widely expected to win the Best Actor award for his performance. So awkward. Well, you can bet that the producers or the Academy weren't going to do anything about it because they don't want to bring any further bad light to it. So let's just kind of not mention it at all and just make as if that never happened. People won't know about it. But you can imagine that this is probably the most outrageous thing that's happened to Oscars for ages, and so this is going to reverberate around. And us people who hold Hollywood in disdain think this is pretty funny, actually. Hollywood weirdos hitting other Hollywood weirdos. He assaulted someone, a colleague, in front of an audience of his peers in a moment watched around the world by tens of millions. There was no way they couldn't address it. So he did kind of. After a flurry of activity in the room, from Denzel Washington's counselling to Smith's publicist, Smith was anointed this year's Best Actor and he took to the stage. You can imagine they're not going to do anything to Will Smith because he's such a big actor and he's going to win the Best Actor award, isn't he? I mean, they're not going to do anything to him because of that, are they? They're not going to not give him the award. What followed was 6 minutes of defensive, indulgent justifications for his violent behaviour. With barely an apology, he apologised to the Academy and his fellow nominees, but not to the man he assaulted, a visibly shaken and shocked Chris Rock. Now, I have heard that maybe there is some bad blood between Will Smith and Chris Rock, because I think Chris Rock made some jokes about Jada Pinkett Smith in an earlier show, Oscar show as well. So there must be um, some things going on there. In a feat of verbal dexterity, Smith linked the themes of his film King Richard to his disgraceful actions, pleading for understanding that he was defending his family. Yeah, you can defend your family. Doesn't mean you go up and smack someone in the face, does it? I don't care what kind of thing was done. I mean, you hear it all the time from all these leftists going, violence, we don't condone violence. Violence is not the way, you know. And now they're all quiet about it, aren't they? He spoke at length about protecting those he loved, as did Richard Williams, the father of Serena and Venus Williams, who he played in the biopic. Smith spoke about love making you do crazy things and the disrespect he faced as someone with a public profile. What the hell is that all about? Doesn't mean you can go up there and have words with them. Doesn't mean you can smack someone. You can't just smack anyone who might have made a bad joke about you or your family or something. Those are all valid points in another context. If he poured his heart out in an interview or even said those in an expectation speech that didn't follow a violent outburst, it would have meant something. But in this actual context in which he assaulted Rock for a tasteless joke about his wife Jada Pinkett Smith, those words weren't enough. They weren't nearly enough. Because for everything he did say, what was more glaring is what he didn't say, and that's what he did. He didn't directly address what he did. He didn't use any words that came close to describing his actions. Of course, look, he's got a little tear in his eye. Oh, poor Will Smith. Oh, I think there's something seriously wrong with that guy. Instead, he spliced his tearful justification, a plea for understanding to anyone who has felt the need to defend their loved ones, with jokes about art imitating life, even slipping into Richard Williams' distinct voice, hoping he'll be invited back next year. Yep, you can just bet that if he just acts like Richard Williams, because no one's going to say anything bad against Richard Williams, then of course they're going to let this go. Right? It was an opportunity to tell the millions of people watching that violence is never the answer. He didn't take it. So are they also going to condone men going and slapping women in the face? I mean, is that going to be condoned now, the Academy? Right? Is that going to be condoned now, Will Smith? Do you actually, if you're protecting someone, is it okay to go and slap someone else, like your wife? You know? If you just think that you have the right to do that because you think that you're protecting your family from her, do you just go around and slap anyone that you want now? Slap women all over the place? That's what you're condoning. That's what the Academy is condoning. Apparently for many in the room that was enough, because Smith was swept off the stage to a stand, because they're all crazy. All the people in Hollywood, they're all weirdos. They live in their Hollywood bubble. They don't know anything about real life, right? And they don't know anything about consequences of what they do because they're too rich to face any consequences. As if a disproportionate, emotionally driven, violent reaction was okay, as long as you cried about your family. Anthony Hopkins even played tribute to Smith a few minutes later as he went up to present the next award. In almost every other arena, in a pub or in an office or a concert hall, anyone else would have been escorted out of the room by security. Right? If any of us did it, we would be held to account, but because it's Will Smith, obviously, he's not. Just as well that he just did it to another Hollywood weirdo and not some normal person, otherwise that would have been even more disgusting. Smith brought shame to the proceedings, and he brought shame to himself, not just for ruining a career moment he'd spent decades building up to, but for the values of love he purports to embrace. Those in the room let him get away with it because of his star power is perhaps the greatest shame of all. Well said in this particular article. I agree with all of that, although I don't really care too much about it because it's woke on woke crime. For whatever jokes Chris Rock made, he's still part of the Hollywood stuff. He still never speaks against, well, as far as I know, he hasn't spoken against the wokeism in Hollywood and so on. So after all of that, the Academy puts out a tweet. So if we go onto Twitter, the Academy does not condone violence in any form. That is their tweet to sweep this under the carpet. They don't condone violence in any form. Tonight we are delighted to celebrate our 94th Academy Awards winners who deserve this moment of recognition from their peers and movie lovers around the world. No, it's just your peers, it's not movie lovers from around the world, because all of the awards went to really movies that didn't have any kind of broad appeal at all. So let's see some of the reactions to this Twitter post from the Academy. Yes, it does. You let the guy win. Laughing my ass off. Laughing my fucking ass off. Oh, my effing ass off. Apologies. Don't you dare take away Will's Oscar. So someone that have condoned violence. Well, good. Well done, Spidey Ling. It's a little too late for that, don't you think? Yeah, you can say now you don't condone violence, but you didn't do anything about it. So in the end, we're not going to do anything about it. Let's just act like it didn't happen. That's what you were trying to say. Then why didn't you take him out of the venue? Why give the award to him? Exactly. The lack of action tells a different story. Sorry, this is a little too late. The violence was uncalled for. What will the Academy do about it? If that's the case, why? So they're talking about why some awards winners didn't get their awards live on show. Exactly. If you're here to celebrate all the moments in movies, why did you cut 8 awards from the show? You all got hundreds of PR members in your ranks, and this tweet was the best you could come up with. Even I could come up with something better than that. There's nothing else that needs to be said, because unless you've said something about Mel Gibson, Harvey Weinstein, or Roman Polanski receiving Oscars, keep that for outrage to yourself. This is such a strange statement, obviously. So it goes on and on and on. So just ridiculous goings on in the Academy Awards. I guess it is the most exciting thing that's ever happened recently in the awards, But that's all. So the thing is, that's all everyone's going to be talking about now, because the winners of all the awards are just absolute shit, right? I mean, Coda wins Best Picture. What was Coda about? Was that something? Was that the deaf person one about deaf people or deaf family or something? Right? Yeah, fair enough. It's all good to have that kind of thing. But one of the biggest movies of the year, Spider-Man: No Way Home, the most popular movie ever this year, doesn't get a look in for anything, right? Of course, yeah, it's a Marvel movie, it's a superhero movie, but it should at least get a nomination, considering it was the most popular movie of the year. But the Academy Awards are just for the Academy, it's just for Hollywood people. They're not made for normal people, right? Because we never see any of our movies. I mean, I guess it did have June, which was semi-normal, semi-popular. It was probably the biggest box office earnings of any of the movies in that were nominated for Best Picture. But that would never get an Oscar, because it doesn't have anything about representation or race or gender or anything like that. So obviously we can't let that win. I'm not going to have to wait to see what the ratings are for this. I could imagine once this incident happened, the ratings might have gone up a bit, but it'd be interesting to see. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you condone what Will Smith has done? Condoning violence on other people. I mean, what the joke Chris Rock made wasn't that egregious, if you had seen it. But this guy just snapped totally. Or if you think like me and just think Will Smith was a total weirdo idiot, just like all of people in Hollywood actually are. So I guess it's one less person I need to support by going to see their movies. And I wasn't ever going to see King Richard anyway, because it just looked absolutely awful. Why would I want to watch that particular movie? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, you're welcome to give it a thumbs down. And if you like my content, please subscribe as well. You might want to click the bell just to get notifications whenever new videos go up. Otherwise, I will catch you in the next recording.